Hi all, I hope everybody's well. So, what is that? It's just weird. What is happening with the UK royal family at the moment? It seems like it's a strategy to send us all in a whirl, as opposed to, it's just becoming a bit unbelievable, isn't it? Now, we're going to take a look at some pictures, but I'm going to dive into the tarot. I presume that a lot of people are going to say different things about it, but it's horrible. It looks like when we think of something satanic, we see it in flames, we see it in red. Red is associated with our base chakra, and it's a very passionate, creative color. I don't know what I was saying. Oops. Yeah, red. But it's also such a powerful colour that it should be used lightly. And by that, what I mean is that you don't have something all red. Now, I understand when we look at art, we can gain different perspectives. And I understand even if I were to look at it further, I'd probably gain more energy from it, but I just haven't. I'm not really keen on doing so, but I'd be interested in anyone who knows the actual date, when he was there presented with it. I'd like to look at the astrology date around that, see if there's any energy that could tie in. Well, I think we're talking about Taurus, aren't we? Taurus season, which is interesting because I was going to say root chakra. And so we're also talking about being sort of grounded, safe and stable in life. And that's just smeared all over it. But I can see a lot of people saying that's the bloodshed of the monarch, or it's the bloodshed of where the UK was ruling countries in the past, and it's a bloodshed of those countries. Everyone's going to have a perspective. Some may say that it could be the mirrored sort of effect, which could tie in with different societies that develop their logos around stuff. So we will jump into the tarot, but I feel sorry for him standing there and then seeing that. It's kind of like it's not a good energy. It's kind of like time to burn in hell, or time for, especially when he's not well. The red symbolizes obviously blood. And like I said, when we think of stuff that are satanic or something, and I'm not saying that is the case, we always see red and flames just all around. Now, there is a butterfly, which I find really random, because a butterfly is gentle, soft. It's about transformation. It's not something that you would see put in a king's portrait that's full of red or such a bold colour. But I guess it's supposed to be the monarch butterfly, so representing the monarch. Now, this picture was actually done when this was actually started while he was a prince, and so the journey then became that he became a king when it was finalised. How do these artists get selected? That's another thing. But what I'm really feeling from it, I feel like the artist has gone for something really bold because he knows it's going to be in the news. But we'll tap into tarot, and that's what I feel like. He knows it's going to be controversial. He knows it's going to bring up a lot of stuff like past bloodshed of countries, or the bloodshed of the monarch, or Charles is not well. So could it be his blood? Could it be him burning out, like his face burning out? There's a lot of things around it, and his hands are dirty. His hands are not as light as his face. That's another thing that I've noticed on And so, oh, I've lost my chain of thoughts now. I haven't really looked at its energy, but when I'm thinking of it right now, I feel like it's one of those that you just don't want to look at more than a couple of seconds. I was saying about his hands, again, murky, like they're in that, because it's mainly red, isn't it? But then there's that grey black smudging, and his hands are like that. And then there's also, yes, they show a bit of finer print of the detail of the top part. I forgot the name, the royal top. And yes, red is a royal colour, but not for the background as well. And his eyes are not green or blue, sorry, they're not blue. They're actually brown. His eyes are brown in it. It seems like it's just a red colour and then the sort of darker tone of grey and black that's it. His outline of his body is very, very faint. I don't know, but I think the artist wanted to be out there. But let's get into the tarot and see what else comes up. One thing I forgot to mention is that I have the tarot decks in front of me for when I do the recording of a couple of questions in the tarot. I just felt the energy above a card deck, and I picked a card, and it was the 6 card. It's the contract in reverse 6. So if you place it upwards, it looks like a 9, right? Now contract in reverse, for me in this would be like a connection lost, right? It's not a connection that's coming in. This is a connection lost. But it's interesting, we've got the balance of scales here as well. Unbalancement. Looking at the 9 in this tarot deck, Oracle tarot deck, the 9 is the heartbreak, it's the grief, it's the loss. It's similar to the 3 of Swords energy in tarot. So I felt that was really interesting, that I was called to do that. And then this is so we've got the 6, which, you know, if you triple it, some would say it's connected to an energy. The 6 is actually a positive. It's a soulmate card. It can be your soul purpose. It can be your past, your childhood as well. It's your soul contract. When we see contract and the 6 here, I would say that's connection to soul contract, your past life, your childhood, soulmates. It's a loving energy. And then the 9 is 9. I wish I looked at his life path number to calculate via his date of birth, but we're looking at your energy throughout the years. Each year is either a 1 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you start again at 1. So I wonder what year this is for him. But it's a 9. It's a transformative, higher level energy. So let's get into this. I just also want to say, I mean, I think there's a huge camp that's following everything around the royals, and I feel like similar to the Sebastian case, but in a very different way. Sebastian Rogers' missing case, very extreme, but there's a lot of exploitation in this at the moment, where the energy is just on let's feed on anything. And one of the reasons I stopped the readings is, like I said in the last reading, is just the vile comments and people that think they know it all. And I'm just checking this is upright before any of those Felicia's, but actually it was a male last time. There was a Felicia who I blocked. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? I mean, So we're just making sure the tarot deck is upright. There was something else I wanted to mention as well. Now, one question would be, what's the energy behind this? But the question around that needs to be more precise. So I'm just saying that because I presume a lot of tarot readers would have read or are going to read on this, even if they normally read on other stuff. If you are from England and you're a subscriber and you still watch the content on the channel, let me know what you're enjoying at the moment. So we'll start off with what's the intention behind the portrait being sort of done in this way. So let's have a look. Oh, because I got a grumpy somebody saying that they've never seen anyone do the cards like this and that I'm collecting. I best turn it around, haven't I? And if I turn it around automatically, it's only because it seems like my hand is more comfortable. Let's go. You can always see that they're flip outs. The energy, not the energy, the intention behind the portrait being like this. Intention behind the portrait. What did I say about recognition? What did I say about I feel like the person really wants to get some recognition controversially? And we see that here, you know. I see what he's done is he's actually been in two minds about it. And it's interesting, this one here with that red hat on. Obviously, he's always had the red hat. It hasn't just changed in this reading. But it seems like it's very significant, as in wanting to be a big head. So that recognition. I'm trying to be gentle, like, with what I want to say around big head. But in some way, it's not necessarily... So he wants the recognition, okay? He wants that big head. He wants to be recognized. He wants his trumpet blown. But at some stage, I think he was trying to weigh up the priorities here. Like, do I really do this or don't I? And the decision is made. He has done that. Now, interestingly, I'm going to get a clarification on the world, but it's kind of like bringing a completion to sort of a chapter, and I think he is done that intentionally, and I'm being brought back to maybe there's also an intention of completion of chapter of the bloodshed, but I don't think that was his meaning around it, and I don't think he also has done it for a like a society or think of the three M's, but I do think that the portrait itself, and I'm getting this now again, because when I look at this and this, is a portrait that can be easily mirrored, okay? When I was talking about different logos. But definitely this person wants that recognition to fill his head, okay? So what I was getting in the beginning, show me the intention. Star card in reverse, Empress in reverse, I'm getting told to pull that one as well, and Tower in reverse, the Tower upright, sorry. So again, there's an emphasis here of, you know, mother, so the Queen when she passed, and I'm getting the Four of Swords here. As I mentioned, that is confirming that. When she passed, a lot was like, the ground was shaken, and we've had like major tower moments, haven't we? We just like keep thinking things are going to get on the straight and narrow, but a lot has... It's just like a lot has been crumbling since then. And a lot of healing has not taken place where healing has needed to take place. Now, it's interesting because we've got the Painter's energy here, but then we go into sort of really where the Monarch's energy is playing into this as well. And the Star card is a loss of faith. So a loss of faith. And I think this is also us, a loss of faith, and now I remembered what I wanted to say initially, a loss of faith since the Queen has passed in terms of the monarch. And I mean, I don't mean the monarch in terms of, you know, doing their monarch royal duties, but having that prestige sort of image that the UK monarch has always had. And obviously Harry started this crumbling with all this thing, right? So we've got the Five of Pentacles, but it didn't slip out. I'm putting it back in, putting this so I don't see the top. Let's shuffle a bit more. The intention behind the portrait being this way. The intention behind the portrait being this way. A lot of cards fell out here. I don't feel like they're all going to be relevant, but I'm going to take them. Again, can you remember I said about the 9, the 3 of Swords energy, trying to move forward. This is also Cancer, I believe. He's not a Cancer, is he? So moving forward, this could be Williams moving forward, but this heartbreak here, there is sort of like a hidden, what did I want to say? There's a hidden element to it. The word is, what's the word I want to say? Disguise to it, illusion to it, okay? And it's interesting, we've got the Tower, we've got a new energy, a new chapter. And here I mentioned this could be sort of Williams' sort of chapter coming in. But there's a hidden sort of illusion behind it. That's not exactly the word I wanted. 1 second, let me just pause while I see what word. Of creating here, just wanting that sort of fame, recognition, creating that illusion, volatile sort of energy where people are going to talk about it, and he's done that successfully. The Fool again, going for a risk. He's gone for a risk on this. There's kind of a smug energy here as he sees he's created, this is not King Charles, it's the portrait, the guy, the artist, sorry. The volatile illusion disguise around it. It's interesting, I look at this horse and it's reminding me of My Little Pony for some reason. The eye is looking straight at me, and it's giving me My Little Pony vibes. You remember My Little Pony? Why is that coming through to me? And the sunflower significance. So again, maybe the illusion, the volatile kind of, you can see things, you can see it in different ways. And remember I said I think it would be a portrait that could be easily mirrored. I'm getting that energy from the sun and moon here. Mirrored, so you see different aspects in it. And remember when I said in the beginning, I mentioned, I think if you were to focus on it, look at it for a while, you'll see different things come up in it. And I think maybe I should have done that to actually then read on it in a different way, but I don't want to be tapping my energy into everything. But the Three of Swords, the heartbreak here, and the grief and the loss, which then transforms into a working together. And it seems like here, what's this? Three again. I'm not sure. I mean, Prince Charles looked a bit scared of the pulling the cloth down, but I think I honestly feel like he was a bit horrified by that portrait. I don't think he, you know, wanted it to necessarily be that way. I think a lot of people are going to say that because you want to be seen in power, or it's a society. Now, I don't get that, unfortunately, here. But I do think that 3 people, the artist and 2 other people, may had a peek at it before Charles saw it, but I don't think Charles actually saw it until that day, you know, until he was standing there. The portrait has arrived, time to reveal it, and there's that red cloak there. But in the background, and we can see how the background is darker here, there is 2 people, but I feel like they're not fully understanding what on earth he's trying, you know, that he's explaining, which is not the actual, what he has as an intention behind it. I think maybe 2 people have checked in from, you know, representatives of the monarch, checked in to see how is it going, when it's going to be ready and stuff. Didn't necessarily see the final product or see it totally, but was communicating with this guy. And I think this guy really feels like there's success, and he's really shone a light in a positive direction, where there's been heartbreak, grief, and there's been heavy energy around the royal family. I am also getting that I don't think he's intentionally done this, but this has maybe going to navigate a little bit of intense energy that's going on around William and I guess Princess Catherine. I honestly don't know what's happening. I have no clue. I saw the red picture pop up and I'm like, what on earth is this? And then I saw in the thumb title different stuff like, what was the title I actually saw? King Charles Portrait Bloodshed or something like that. And so then I was interested to see if this is official, and that's where I found that clip I just showed you. I typed into YouTube, King Charles receives official portrait, and it brought me everything up. And that's how I knew it was official. And then I saw a clip for 1 minute of the artist speaking out there. Let's see what King Charles feels about it. If you've enjoyed this, if you're enjoying it, you can consider giving it a like or subscribing to the channel. Let me know if you want more royal readings. Let's just make sure I'm doing them the upright. What is this? You see I had them all upright and all the way, so some of them have turned. King of Cups, interesting. Scorpio energy. His energy. What date was it received? I've not checked that. I can definitely check that. I'd love to look in the astrology of that. I think we're in Taurus season, going into Gemini very soon. Very interesting. Taurus earth energy. Earth energy is obviously not considered with red, but red root chakra is a stabilizing energy. Okay, split the deck, told to split the deck by Spirit. Page of Pentacles. So that's the delivery to him, you know, the artist. I'm delivering this to you. And like I said, Taurus earth energy is during Taurus season. It's interesting. Okay, so what did King Charles feel or see? How did he receive this portrait? Wheel of Fortune, hoping for a change in fortune. 3 of Swords, the heartbreak, the grief of loss. So I think because of the way things are going, you know, I think, you know, it's not easy. You keep remembering your mother. But this is also emotional ungroundedness of divine feminine energy, and it could be his energy. But we're going to tap into it. How did you receive it? So for me, I mean, it says that he was hoping for a Wheel of Fortune, something that would be portrayed, interesting, look at the source, portrayed in a positive way, for an upward way, but instead it's spiraled. He feels it's a spiral down. Interesting, look at this energy here. He sees it quite satanic as well, not satanic, but like red and flames. He was heartbroken over it. I'm not going to say that, for example, I'm not going to say he had his heart broken, but he didn't feel that he was heartbroken. But you know what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say is that there's a difference between heartbreak of losing somebody, your life, and having that portrait. But that portrait for him is out in the world now, and there's so much being spoken about the UK royal family. So it is a heavy energy that when you're like, okay, I was hoping for something and look what's happened. And it's caused a disembalancement in his emotions. How does he feel about this portrait? So no, he wasn't happy about it, which tells me he hadn't seen it prior, or he wasn't involved. There's the guy. There's the artist. Yeah, look at these cards. You know, it made him reflect on going to an energy of, look at this, the blood here, past. It's kind of like, what is the message here? What's this message that this person, he's delivering multiple messages. It's not one message. Why is he delivering multiple messages? Why is he causing a commotion of people of different views and volatile, what I was saying with the moon card, volatile social media, social expression of people? Why is he creating that commotion and volatility and focusing, as opposed to a Wheel of Fortune to go forward? We're focusing on the past here. I sometimes feel my readings are too I don't want to say common sense, but are too like validating that people don't like it. People want something with drama and devil and stuff like that. They don't always want something that doesn't have the additional drama. Like here, it could be, no, he really wanted it because, and I can see this being, he really wanted it because he wants the power, to show the power. I don't see that in this cards, and you can tell that I don't see that in these cards. I'm not making, it's not like I see here the second card of these. Now, as we go along, it might improve, but this is his initial reaction. We don't see here the Four of Wands celebrating it. We don't see other celebratory cards. We do definitely see emotional imbalancement. He didn't receive it well internally, but he is part of the monarch. He's had to hide his inner emotion of how he felt of it. How he felt of the artist, but he definitely recognized the artist probably is somebody who wants to create that commotion, who wants to bring the attention to himself. Different views can be seen of the portrait, and that was intentional, and intentional to use the red as the highlighted color. Again, what is the past? Something about bloodshed, yes. Why has he used the red? He's focusing on why has he really picked the red up when he could have gone for a more neutral, grounding color. And so then Prince Charles is a bit confused. He's like, what am I looking at here? There's so many things that I could be looking at. Why has he done this? And I feel like he could be a bit overwhelmed with what is the intention behind this. There he is, standing, waiting, like I said, to get the picture, to receive the portrait. And now it's kind of like, I need to see how this is going to float with people. What do I need to, the Fool has gone in reverse. What do I, so again, not taking a risk on anything now, needing to wait to see how people react. What can be done? I mean, are they allowed to bring that portrait down? I think it would be very difficult, but maybe one thing to balance this is to actually get another portrait done straight up, like more in the royal blue or something, and as if it's next to it. So you've got the bright red and then you've got the royal blue. But then, you know, sort of his hair and his skin is the real skin and hair and colour, so it's lighter. And then these like his portrait in the royal blue, very outlined, and it could be outlined with a very thin black line, and around it is like a smudging of white, and then there's blue, so there's the boldness there, and then you get the blue eyes. And I think that would be a way to balance it if he can't take it down. I don't know why I'm turning into a royal advisor here. Maybe I should apply for one. If you see a link, let me know. Drop it in the comments. I think I can definitely do a lot better for them. Oh, Joe. The Fool, you know, the Fool here in reverse is, you know, we had it upright. And so what are we looking at now? We're looking at feeling that this was a bit careless, feeling there was absence of thought, there was, you know, kind of an extravaganza of going for a risk, but there was like vanity around it, and he definitely sees that. So now it's kind of like waiting and seeing what's come forward. So I don't think he's impressed at all, unfortunately, and I wouldn't be. Temperance, the Sagittarius card, trying to balance his energy at this moment in time and being patient, trying to listen to his inner voice, as opposed to maybe, I mean, he probably can't take a vast reaction, but again, what could he do? So here is, maybe there's a proposal of what could be done, and it was sort of, it's seen as like a bit of a gift. Someone's worked on it. So what can be done around this? What can be done? I'm going to just see if there's 3 more cards that want to come out. And 3 came out. Yeah, it hasn't brought that new chapter of the of sort of a new sort of wheel of fortune for him to have some positive focus on. It's actually put it in reverse. It's actually stagnated the energy around hoping for, you know, some positivity be trailed in, a hope of a new chapter of overcoming obviously the Cancer, and just having that new sort of image put out there, a fresher image. It's caused this for him. And you can see in my cards what I mean. So those of you that want the devil and the societies, etc., I think psychically I was picking up on it from the beginning, what the intention of the person. The card is just confirming that. And here, 8 of Swords is difficulty. It's also, you know, treachery, and it's kind of like treachery with what was unforeseen, what they're going to have to deal with, the difficulty of opposition now that needs to be faced. And with that is the difficulty of this pain to doing this. So you know, although he's had to be patient, is in his response internally, I don't think he was feeling good about it at all. I mean, look at these cards. So, yeah, bless him for that, and no one can blame him for feeling this way. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to your constructive comments. Take care, and bye for now.